short, I can have hand grenades being thrown in and elephants running across and seagulls pooping on you. I've got the distractions under control. So now that I've got that, I can start doing duration, distance, pumping those up. I get to the stage where I've got this situation, okay? Then I go to distractions. And by the time I'm here, I got a rock solid dog, okay? Now you want to start, you can do different things. You can drop the distractions and do that, so you're getting that good reward, high reward, and there's not a lot of stuff going on, and you can move those things around if you want. But basically, any training of any animal, you have to go through those steps. And of course, distance may be nothing, okay? But if it is, you've got to take that into consideration. With a killer whale, distance may be the height it jumps, correct? Yeah. I don't expect it to jump this high on day one. I reward it when it does that little. And that's the thing, the reward is occurring for these behaviors. I'm getting the reward for the behavior that I'm looking for. And so the animal is just going to get better and better and better. And you end up with what you want at the end. And you could do this for, like you want a final trainer response where the dog sits, okay, correct? For instance, you can do that anywhere. And you can do it, duration, 5 seconds. Human remains dog, I want my dog to sit there until the cows come home. But I don't expect it to do that on day one. I'm going to build it from 1,000, 1,001, 2,000, 1,000, 3,000. Like what I did the other day, I didn't go 3,000 and say sit, which I should have done. But that's the thing. And then my dog can sit there for 10 minutes while I'm standing in front of it. And there's no HRD involved here, none whatsoever. But then I can start going further away, further away, further away. So I'm on this side of the room and I say sit, the dog sits. And it does the job, okay? And I've got this duration and distance down, but then I want to start throwing all sorts of other stuff into the equation. And it's going to be, I'm going to be here and I'm going to say sit, and they're going to throw a tennis ball. Good dog. Okay? I'm going to throw a tennis ball, throw hand grenades, whatever. It gets bigger and bigger, but the time and distance is going to stay right there. Okay? And then once the dog, it doesn't care what's happening around it. Okay? Then you're going to do distance and duration a little longer at the same time. Okay, a little longer at the same time until I can have the dog sit there for a minute and I'm on the other side of the building. Then I'm going to say, okay, fine, now I can start adding some distractions. So you've got to look at all the training that you do. You've got to consider every part of that training. How does this play into it? Because at every stage when that dog is working, ultimately you want that dog to be good with all of that, with every step that it does. So when you're setting the dog off, the dog's not bothered by distractions. It wants to do that. So whatever training you need to get the dog to do that, you need to do that and make sure you've got that down. Now you don't have to do that and at the same time run a 20 mile run when the dog doesn't have this right. Ideally what you really want to have is the last thing. The last thing that you want the dog to do that should be trained first. And you should preferably have that done. And the reason is because just like humans, if you want to learn how to play a piece of music, do it backwards. Do the last, and I can't do any of that crap at all, but do that last section of the song. I like to be a girl, whatever. You do that, and you learn that, okay? Then you do the one before that. Now you're moving towards something you know, or you know that backwards. So now I don't have to think like, what's the next thing that's coming up? What are the next words? I've got it. And I do that enough repetitions, so I've got this and this down pat. New thing. And you're doing the same thing again. You're always moving towards something the dog or you or whatever it is knows.
Okay, so give us an example.
Final response is the last thing the dog's going to do is get the tug from the person that's hiding. So what you do is you bring your dog and you say, hey, yeah, this is how I want you to reward my dog, okay? And you bring the dog out and it's, hey, good dog. Hey, good dog. Hey, good dog. Okay? So now the dog understands that. That's the last thing. That's what I'm always going to work to. This is why I want to work, is I want to work to this exciting thing. This is the last thing that I do is the most exciting thing. And I've learned now that this is exciting, okay? So then the step before that would be running from mom to me, okay? So what I do, mom holds the dog, and I'm here, and she says, fine, show me. She says, show me, and then this person gets, hey, come! Runs in, boom, okay? Repetition, repetition. Show me means I come in and get my big reward that I'm excited about. Now, this is a known process, okay?
But we don't do that with puppy runaways. We have them running away first. We should have them tug or do the reward first and then send them off.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's called backtracking.
This weekend has been worth it then. Thank God. So worried. I was going to go home. Yes.
You're
Yes.
not doing it right.
I know that.
It depends on what your final response is going to be.
Yeah.
If it's a recall refine, then this needs to start first.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not a recall refine and it's some other type of response, you can I'd work on your final response behavior, get that started.
First.
But then in separate sessions, not in the same session, you can go off and do your runaways to build your victim loyalty, your drive and all that. But then over here on the side, sit, 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 sit. I can be working on that behavior. Put the dog away for 20 minutes. Then over here, you can go do runaways for 10 minutes. See what I'm saying?
That's what we do in training with Dixie. Because I've had a setback with her final response, sit. And I won't go into that why, but I know why. But we started doing the back training stuff before I send her out on a runaway or on a search.